Do you know that it predates opera? Okay, so bel canto is the standard of vocal production from 1800 to 1840, and then all you know what broke loose when Puccini, Verdi, Bizet, and Wagner arrived on the scene, and suddenly opera got huge. When that happened, the whole game changed. A lot of what barbershoppers have been working with over the years, how many of y'all have been a barbershop for longer than 30 years? Okay? And so you've seen a lot of and there's been a lot of information that you've heard. Okay, good. So a lot of the stuff that's in the barbershop conversation about vocal production, some of which for me comes from the standard classical production understanding that arose out of the operatic moment where it went big. Here's the problem. Sometimes it doesn't work for the sound that we're trying to create. So in barbershop, what's the sound that we're going for? Okay, straight tone is one part of it. What else?
Lock and ring.
Lock and ring. Okay, ring being the keyword. Okay, cool. What else?
Expanded sound.
Right, harmonics and overtones. What was the other?
Expanded sound.
Expanded sound. Maybe like the resonant. That's also coming somewhat from the choral tradition as well. But when you in the days of theater barbershop, when it first came out, it was really much more about the forward lock and ring. Okay, and then it has morphed over the years to encompass, well, Boston Common won the gold medal in 1980. Is that right? And when it happened, they exploded the scene of barbershop. Were you around for that? When that happened? Okay, I sat in the Bushnell Auditorium when Boston Common sang in 1979. I was probably 12, I was 18. Before they won the international medal. Okay, that sound was new. It was big, it was beefy, it was like, whoa, okay? Prior to that, we were quartets that didn't have that beat to it, yes? Okay, so now you're confronted with two schools of thought for me in barbershop. One is expanded resonant sound, and the other is forward placed ring. It often sounds like two different conversations. Does that make sense to you guys? Trying to do both at the same time sometimes creates challenges in what?
You're
both. Right, you don't, it's like you get an amalgamation, you don't actually get either. And typically, if you get the really beefy sound, have you ever noticed that you don't get the ring? And if you get the ring, oftentimes you don't get any heft. Alright, so the good news is when we're standing in front of you tonight, wands both. Okay? And there's a way to do it. But it's basically controlled by two different understanding parts of the musculature. Okay, so the two things are not necessarily mutually exclusive. But the work that I basically am going to do is help you understand how you are a stable, optimal, resonating machine. That stays in tune. Because if they don't stay in tune, you're not going to lock the ring. Okay, and then don't think it's starting on a new thing that I've just been learning about collaborating tuning. Okay? The good news is that when I was just doing a workshop out in South Dakota, I just came from South Dakota, Nebraska. This director, after I did my session that day, it was a 7-hour workshop with these guys. He said, you don't have to worry about pegging tuning with this work because it automatically creates a space where if you're stable and you're in the key, you will create those proper overtones and the sense difference that each key brings. Does that make sense? For those of you who get the airtones on the riser? All right, so we were just starting with this. The primary difference between bel canto and standard operatic procedure is air. All right? When opera came and got big, all of a sudden we're moving a lot more air through the mechanism and a lot more power through the mechanism. When bel canto singers are singing, first of all, there's no vibrato. They have to sing long, crazy phrases on one breath, 16 plus measures. Okay, the Messiah is one example. Okay, very wide. Long phrases, no vibrato, and absolutely relentless vibrato line, which supports the barbershop lock and ring. Okay, that's why bel canto is even in the dialogue of barbershop. I kind of made the awareness having a specialized training that we could put the two together and create great sound together. Okay, so here's the good news about tonight and the bad news about tonight. Good news about tonight is that it'll be fun, and you'll get to maybe feel something different within your own instrument. The bad news is that there might be moments where there is conflicts with what you think I'm saying and what you already do or what other coaches have said. So could we have disagreement? If your brain starts to get locked up with some contradiction that you're feeling, because it's going to happen all right away, you just raise your hand and say, well, what about this? I have no problem being confronted by anything that you in your mind have a conflict with, okay? And that way we can dialogue and create an understanding of how it's not one or the other, it's both. Okay? Cool? Come on, you guys. So let me just ask real quick, anybody having any vocal challenges on the right? So do you mind just shooting out, as a matter of fact, hold that thought, don't just shoot me out, because I'm now approaching, what do we say, 52, and my brain sometimes doesn't work. Okay, so, jot some down. Okay, so just, shoot me off some of the challenges that you're facing, and I'm jot them down, so that by the time we finish tonight, I'm going to address everything that's on the right that's having a talk. Okay? Vibrato, starting to sneak in. And you said you've been sneaking barbershop for
268.
nice. So you know the sentence. Okay, so the way I'm in this conversation, my father was in the Postman, which was the son of one small man force in 1961 when they won their gold medal. He was trained by them, and the good news is that when I conferred with my dad about barbershop, and I told him how I worked with Del Conto, he's like, well, that's what Harlan Wilson and Gene Colcroft were teaching us in 1961. So, well, if it's good enough for them, it's good enough for us. Okay, cool. So, what else? Ben, you had your hand up. Anything in particular?
Yes, vowels.
Evals. Oh, they're fun, I think. Okay? I'm going to show you guys a trick tonight, too. When all else fails and you get a preponderance of schwa, anybody know what a schwa is? Anybody remember what the first editorial comment was about my articles in Harmonizer? The woman is a schwa bachelor. Okay. All right, so there's a piece though in that little word. Okay, what else?
Not loud enough.
That's not true.
And when you say not loud enough, you mean your own personal instrument is not resonating too often
We're not loud enough.
yourself, or as a chorus, not loud enough.
Yes.
By the way, when I heard you the first time, we discussed when it was. I think it was 2 divisionals ago. I walked on stage and sang, and I was like, oh, God, we're ready for international. I was like, I thought it was cool. So I'm really honored to be here tonight, you guys. Okay.
Placement.
Placement, okay, cool. Placement.
I'm too loud.
You're too loud. Believe it or not, the same solutions for the different problems. Believe it or not. Okay, cool.
Confidence and resonance around the break.
Oh, I love that. Okay, great. We'll have that discussion. In Italian, it's called passage. Everybody say this for me. Passage. Okay, we're going to discuss your passages tonight. It'll be very, very exciting. Okay, cool. What else?
For me, going dark, I don't know.
Yeah, and having them start to go back,
Yeah.
and going into the
He's been helping me a lot, but anything that's left is not my fault.
All right, cool. You see, it's interesting. We all have a shift in there.
Singing with like a pretty medieval sound.
Like having something that's attractive come down to, or what you mean?
People, I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Like sounding nice and like that.
Okay, so as you go up, that's, yeah.
Yeah.
It could also be connected to the style. You need to just say, so prettiness. What part do you think? My father was baritone, I can have a baritone ring, so you're a good company.
Lateral attack.
Let's clarify articulation. Okay, cool. What else? Oh, not, doesn't work for barbershop. Sagging intonation. Okay, anything else?
Knowing when to sing in falsetto versus full voice.
Okay. Some of that is going to be more Daniel's insert, right? What he needs in the chorus. What I will tell you is I'm a vocal production specialist. I can make you like 3 keys on risers. I can give you individually optimal resonance, and that combined into unit sound, and that combined into completely total control of your intonation. So with that being said, that might, when you go to the international stage and you have those combined, it makes your chances a lot better of doing well. You know what I'm saying? So some of that has to do with what he needs in the chorus. That's all what I'll say. But what we can address it from is the ease of which you make the transition and not making that transition too early.
But I mean, sometimes you're
making it to a phrase on one breath. And it's okay tonight. Okay, cool. What I'm about to bring tonight to you guys is really revolutionized your life, but you're not going to believe me. Okay? So, just so you're saying,
If I remember, the canto singers used to sing with a candle in front of them.
that's correct. The primary difference, if you look in Wikipedia, with Alpine and anything else, is this one phrase, the avoidance of aspiration. Which means what? Less air. So barbershoppers, in my opinion, to great degree, are over-breathing and using too much air with no regulation and breath control, which means some of the results that are inconsistent, when we do get inconsistencies, or we start to get over-singing, and we start to get depressing sound, you're losing a lot of air. So I'm going to show you something to try, okay? Nothing that I say is worth anything at all unless it works for you. Does that make sense? So what I want you to try to do tonight is the best you can is feel what I'm asking you to feel. And if you don't feel it, go, I'm going to feel that. And see if I can say it a different way and see if you can. Does that make sense? Because like I said, it's only good if I can communicate what I feel in my body when I sing to what you really need. Okay? Don't think of revolution as my life. It means a professional. And the piece that happened when I got the big pieces was total control at all times. And being a somewhat of a control freak, that's not a bad thing. All the time. My intonation, my artistry, my ability to do exactly what a director would want me to do, everything is in my instrument to a big word, please. Effortless to sing when it's right. Wouldn't be like that. The primary reason when you're shaking your heads that you're not having these is this air business. Okay, so that's something that's simple time. Okay, so what I was telling him when we started, when I was meeting with him, is basically what I need to do first is have you feel what happens in your body when you are unready. Okay? Ready to go? All right then. Who's got the pictures on the horizon? You cannot have a deep one. And by the way, sometimes tonight I may pull some of you all up to listen to sound, so listen to sound, because sometimes you can't hear it on the risers, okay? So, again, be fine. I want you to take the low E flat. I'm not going to come on that note for me. Ready? And. Okay, good. So you know where we are. You can't, that's a little low for the tenors, but sorry. If you can get there, just do it. If you can't, I'll go to the same side. All right? Off you go. Now, here's the exercise. We're going to go. Ma, mo, moo. Okay? Here we go. You know I did why. Here we go. Ready? Me, me, ma, mo, moo. As we do this, you're going to be like, oh, okay, let's do it one time. What I want you to tell me is what vowel you are putting on. Here we go. Ready? Me, me, ma, mo. E, A, Feel it? So there's a pitch decrease in our vowels. We don't need a lot. Okay? Because when they resonate, here's where they want to resonate, right here. E, A, O, U, O. That is where they naturally go to when they speak. So there is a natural morphing that happens in our English language that pulls the sound in and out of our mouth. Now guess what happens when we're singing? With that kind of pitch differentiation, all those back vowels will go out of tune as you're singing a sentence, and being the biggest culprit. So every time, and what are we on? Think back. Love. Yeah, the biggest word in barbershop. So we got love, and then of, and then the, and above. Okay, so anytime we hit a schwa in a sentence, God forbid there's more than one. We're going to go out of tune without conscious awareness of being prepared for that sound before it gets there. Now here's the caveat. When you go out of tune and you go back as you're singing a phrase, you're back for the rest of the phrase, which means once you go out of tune, you're out of tune. You cannot get back forward effectively if you lose it. Which is why for me this work is so critical, but it's also like pretty detail oriented this way. Alright, so but to the little tiny focused attention, you can fix these problems. Okay, so now we're going to read. Go back to the read. Now, right where you feel me, me, ma. Me, me, ma. You're going to keep that out right in the same space as me, me. Right? Right, so if you go to the end of the me, me, ma. So that then you're actually just popping open the vowels. Okay, ready to flat in? Oh, let's go up to let's go with B.
Wow. Generous.
We're in the barbershop for your legs too. So I want to hear what happens to you. Okay, so here we go. Ready and. Okay, so now I have some cases like this. Okay, this is standard choral procedure. And also, right now, the tongue being really relaxed and the jaw being really relaxed is a very prominent concept in barbershop right now. Me, me, ma, mo, mu. How does that sound? Guess what's going to happen? You're not going to get something that you want. You're not going to get rain. You'll get gorgeous, beautiful, blended, tall, fabulous choral sound. And you'll be a wonderful chorus. But when you go to get come from rain,
How does being relaxed in here mean that you won't get rain?
it's not so much that you relax in here, it is that the actual mechanism is not engaged for the upper harmonics. So basically, your lower jaw and your tongue, the bottom ends of your instrument, which is what you guys are predominantly used to play your back. We like that sound, okay? You're fine. For me, most of the time, guys have no problem with the resonance piece overall. What they have a problem with in general is the height. So the high harmonics in the sound, you guys, that's the challenging piece. Now here's the thing, if I can get you used to what handles those high harmonics, and then keep you there, you become a stable resonating instrument. So let's just do one more thing. So go back to the me, ma. But this time, go back to the lick, like you're up to something. Everybody. Yes. Like yes. People see what part do you say back to background?
And so that's
Okay, so forward lift for a tenor is not necessarily always as the most important piece, the height that we're going to talk about is, but where it helps you is the forward placement of the ping. So when you're trying to get that clean, clear, clarion kind of bang going, that's where this helps for the placement of it. Okay, cool, let's do it one more time, guys. Yes. I'm looking around the room, and I see anybody not listening. He gave me permission to point you out, yes? All right, just stay there. It'll be more fun for you. Okay, here we go. Ready and be again. There we go. Stay there, guys. Joy. Awesome. So overall, those vowels, you feel them? We're steady across. Yes? Will you trust me when I say you're trying to resonate?
I feel it.
You feel it? Yeah, wasn't that lovely?
That's
Isn't that lovely? Yes. You can keep it. Isn't that nice? not put your right foot on the valves, okay? When I said that it's two pieces that control resonance and forward, this is what I mean. The forward placement for me, if I can keep it here at all times, this piece I wrote a book about, 6 years of my life, staying in this book. This piece here controls the English language. Absolutely. If you keep the face of barbershop, remember Sean Devine was here? What did he say the face of barbershop was? It's your gold medal barbershop smile, right? So make you guys do that for me, it's for gold medal. How do you feel? Now, doesn't that feel pretty weird? Especially in New England. Right? I mean, I'm from Connecticut, but I lived in Hawaii for 18 years. Hawaiians smile all the time. They sing with total ease. New England, not so much. You feel that? So drop your faces. Be more serious for me. That's more the neutral position we like to hang out in, right? Okay, good. So now go back to it. You just went to Gold Medal Barbershop, and now you have to stay there all the time. Is that going to be fun? Okay. So this forward lift for me controls your valves. It keeps you forward without you having to do what most guys do when I say forward. So if you want to make a forward sound, what do? Somebody tell me. How do you get something forward?
Raise my eyebrows.
Okay, you raise your eyebrows. Okay, that's okay. What else? Does anyone try to put it forward?
Yeah.
Like you're going to make it go forward? Like, okay, everything is, I just thought, if I just do my job, I'll get it, right? Anybody believe that? Okay, so like that, that if you just do this, we'll go there automatically, we don't have to do a thing. This is the piece. Kinesthetically, the brain needs to know where forward is. So essentially, I'm going to teach you how to get that in this evening. Here it is. Okay? Remember we did the vowels? E, A, A, O, U. Try your mind. I'm going to say, when it's going to ready, and? E, A, A, O, U. A little better now, smile for me and say it as if you've got your gold medal barbershop face on the whole time. Here we go. E, A, A, O, U. No difference? And there's no descending on the pitches of the actual speech-related pieces. Okay? Are you with me so far? Awesome. All right, so make it simple. You're going to stay like this, it's going to feel weird. You'll get it. Okay, good. Now, the thing that controls the up and down vertical movements, and this is the tenor piece, when you're talking about controlling whether all this is whether you're falsetto or whether you're legit or whether you're doing it, how we're managing that instrument. If I told you that I wanted you to breathe in and inhale for the highest note you ever had to sing every single time you took your breath, can you do that now? Well, if it's me, it's probably not. Okay, so because you would know, anybody here think that way. You're going to breathe into the highest note you ever sing. So tonight I told Daniel, what I'm going to leave you with this one piece that you're going to start to work with. So as we put these pieces together tonight as we're singing, we're going to come out with this one thing I call the breath track. And the breath track is going to get your forward lift in place. It's going to get an internal lift in place. And then we're going to get your breathing support in place in one motion, fast. Because barbershoppers do not have time to be thinking about more than one thing on the information. Is that fair? Okay. So I already get it. You have to be able to do it fast and easily and quietly and appropriately. So exhale for me. I'm going to give you the second piece. It's another lift. I want you to think ah and inhale through your mouth. Now, did you notice any gold little barbershop faces up there? I know. Okay, so I'm just teasing. Go in, exhale. Get this done. You'll have a face too. Let's see you do it naturally. You see this face? Nope, not that face. That face. You stay in that face when you're directing?
No.
He does not. Because he's thinking while he's directing, right? Because he's listening and there's stuff going on and then we go into thinking mode. Okay, so I'm going to tell you that all what I say to them tonight will go out of their heads, they won't remember a thing, and if I can keep you in that face, they'll do it.
How do we know he's well? He's always fun.
Yeah, he smiles when we do it.
Yeah, but basically, it's basically in here, okay, and you will be in here for a little bit. Think about it later. So excellent. Now this time imagine that you're going to actually breathe in through that forward smile. Here we go, breathing in. Cool. Did anybody feel a stretch back as you were pulling that air in? Exhale again. Okay, imagine that you're going to do it one more time, you're literally stretching back above the nerve. Exhale. Inhale. You feel that stretch? Okay, cool. So, you just notice what you felt. Did anybody feel that round space or whatever at the back of the throat sort of unfold? Okay, so exhale for me. This time I want you to inhale on E, so then your famous E. Inhale, keep You know, I gotta tell you, with rare exception, that's very complicated. If you have the analytical mind to actually do that, every single thing you sing in a barbershop song, do it. But if you don't, which is most of us, okay, and I'm highly analytical, the odd shape is a neutral shape. If you breathe into that shape to the back, it will do the preparation typically that you need, okay? But this one little trick that I want to show you guys around is the shape, because it's pretty cool. We'll do that when we see. So, I use as standard emulation with the exception if you've got a vowel target challenge, like a word that starts on a vowel, like an O or an U. Sometimes it is very helpful for you to use the shape on the emulation to prepare for the target. But I don't do that all the time because I don't think it's necessary. Okay, you can get into a great position with that. Just use that. Okay, one more time, guys. Exhale again. This time just do an O for me. So you're going to do O the emulation with the core lift. Ready again? And then I'm going to shake it, change it again. Okay, so does anyone know what the name of that mechanism that's shifting back there? You know what part of the musculature that is? It's actually, it's connected, but it's actually the pharynx. It's the pharyngeal area in your throat. That is actually where your vowels are being created. Did anyone ever think that you're creating the vowels with your mouth? That's we're shaking it here. They're being articulated back there. When you do that shaking, that's where they are, that's where they're landing, and then they get directed, and you can do some modification to your mouth, but believe it or not, that doesn't really matter. Which is another piece of this process where we do the input of the vowel chart. This one? There, no more vowel chart? Okay. And I know that you work with, I know that Steve works with the vowel coming in and all of this, all right, Mr. Trina? Okay. I'm going to show you the pitfalls of it, and if the pitfalls are happening, you have to adjust for it. And the pitfalls are this. If I talk and go a quarter of an inch down, don't tell my sound world. Who do I sound like? Jimmy Stewart or Sean Connery? Or Sean Connery, my sound. It will be resonant, but it won't go to the actual vowel target right at the A-level band. Okay? Okay? So that's a piece that's going to conflict for a lot of you because I know that that's how you think about the mechanism. So all I'm going to ask you to do tonight is try this and feel it, and then you guys can discuss the results, and then you go from there.
So we should tell Steve we don't think he knows what he's talking about.